the coup of 1980, led by Master Sergeant Samuel Doe, occurred while I was still in Liberia in 1980.
How significant an event do you consider the Doe coup to be in the history of Liberia?
Significant. Firstly, this was the first time in the history of Liberia that the President of the Republic had been killed in a coup d'etat. It was the first, in fact, coup d'etat in Liberia. It was the first time that we saw the entire system uprooted in an extremely violent fashion. So it was significant.
Now, just trace for us, please, as someone present in Liberia at the time, what you know about the origins of the coup and the way it played itself out.
We arrived in Liberia. Remember, there are individuals in prison. And may I just add, by this time, whether it was possible or not, the Progressive People's Party was being seen by a lot of Liberians as the possible savior. And I keep saying that it was impossible for them to do what they said they were going to do. When you look at that and you see the country is not solid, I mean, you can sense problems. There are securities posted all over the city, mumbling here and there. It had developed a gray complexion. I'm speaking figuratively now. A gray, you could sense that that things were not normal. Now, I knew nothing of the coup, but on at the night of the coup, when I say we, Tupi and I, we're at the hotel and we hear this gunfire.
Pause for a moment. How did Tupi happen to be in Liberia at that time?
Well, Tupi is my fiancée, and I'm going to Liberia for some time, and we just planned that we should be together. So she took off at that time to be in Liberia with me.
Okay.
The hotel manager informs me that this is about late morning, about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. That
pause again. Date, please.
This is April 6, 1980.
You sure about the date, Mr. Taylor? I'm sure
April 12. April 12.
Thank you.
April 12. There's another set of shooting in Monrovia, April 6th, during our time. I'm sorry, but it's April 12. We get up, and by this time the announcement has been made that night that the army has taken over. The hotel manager informs me that there are soldiers downstairs to see me. She said, "What do you mean soldiers here to see me?" I said, "Well, there are some soldiers downstairs to see me." The soldiers could not enter because when the firing started, in some of these countries they are rolling steel doors, but they fold and they open up and down. So you can look through them, but you cannot really go to. These are steel, I don't know, steel shutters, I think they may be. So I come down, and the soldiers tell me, the general wants to see you. What general? They say, the commanding general. So what does he want to see me for? Say, well, the general just asked us to come and take you to the barracks. Now I'm scared, because I think now they're about to arrest me. One of the fellows that came to the hotel to call me, in fact, two of them started speaking the Giu language. Now, Tupi, my fiancée, is half Kra and half Giu. She speaks Giu. So she understands what they are saying, and she jumps in and begins to speak to them in the Giu language. And they say to her, apparently what she explained to me in Giu, no, it's okay, this man is one of the student leaders and the general wants to speak to him. So then Tupi says to me, oh, Charles says, okay, let's go, it's all right. So I asked the hotel manager to open the gate. He gives me his jeep, and we drive to the barracks. We get to the barracks, we're taken straight into the commanding general's office. I get in there, I see a young man sitting behind the desk with some other individuals, and this young man happened to be the famous General Thomas Kwiwongpa.
Pause there. Let me just ask you about one or two details before we come to that initial meeting with Thomas Kwiwongpa. Which hotel was it that you were staying in at the time?
We were in the Holiday Inn Hotel.
And you told us earlier that you'd heard that a coup had taken place and the military had taken over.
That's correct.
How did you come by that information?
The hotel manager. The hotel manager came up and told us, say, oh, there's a coup d'etat. The soldiers have taken over. So by the time the soldiers come now, I already know there's a coup. And so I'm frightened because they don't know me, I don't know them, they come for me. I have not been in Liberia for years, so I had to take precaution.
Now, before I come to your meeting with Kwiwongpa on the morning of the 12th, what details do you know about the actual events surrounding the coup and the killing of Tolbert?
Well, I only get to know this following our meetings and subsequent conversations with General Kwiwongpa. Very strangely, on the tour in Nima County, in fact, let me just digress a little bit. The soldiers that staged the coup d'etat against President Tolbert are all or mostly bodyguards of President Tolbert.
How many of them?
The council totals about 17, but they grew up to 20.
And tell us, that group of 20 bodyguards, did they have anything in particular in common in terms of their very recent experience?
Oh, they were all a part of that special military training program that had been conducted at Camp Todee, T-O-D-E-E, by the American Special Forces.
And how long before the coup had that training ended?
Oh, not very long, less than a month. Almost immediately. Almost immediately.